recording for the benefit of your colleagues who may have issues and so couldn't be here, or they are here, but it's not clear, network this and that. Okay. So I am sharing your course outline again. Because portions of them were not well read by the class, I think, or some of the members of the class. Somebody read this. Keep your hand up if you want to read this for me. Read what I highlighted on your course outline, which is currently on your screen. Oh dear. Anybody, if you have a very good background, please read it quickly for me and make sure you relay that to your colleagues. Let's see whose hand is up and wants to read. I could take Jeremiah. Put your full name, okay? Put your full name, like Amina Mohammed Rabiu. That's fine. Than Jeremiah. There might be 6 Jeremiahs online currently, so it doesn't help. Okay, so kindly edit it. If you don't know how to do that, let a friend help you. If you put Debbie there and you answer the question very well, and I want to put a mark to your name, I will not go looking for Debbie because I won't find Debbie there. There might be 7 Debbies. You will lose that mark. Let's have someone read for me, please, who has a very good background. Because your hands are many, I don't know how to get someone. Let's get Janet.
I'm reading.
Is it Justin?
Yeah, I'm reading, Justin.
Okay, Justin, go ahead. Justin, when you finish, rename, put your full name because I reward class participation. I've told you. Go ahead.
Okay, madam. To make the class discussion meaningful, learners are required to read ahead. Please, madam, I'm starting again.
Go ahead, sir.
To make the class discussion meaningful, learners are required to read ahead of each topic and prepare a 1-page critical summary on the topic to be discussed. You may be required to present this summary page for grading.
Please, have you seen that? Just a minute. You may be required. It's a requirement that I may just come in like this when class is in session and say, submit your 1-page critical summary that you did whilst you were reading in preparation for the class. It's part of our contract together, which I went through with you. Because otherwise we struggle to do the philosophizing. The content is the raw material you must have. Then we can reflect, inquire, critically examine, conceptually analyze all the terms we learned last week, the tools. The tools of philosophical reasoning would only apply on a content. So it is important that the student comes to class all read up. You have read, you see, so that we can start doing philosophy. It is not in the class that I come to tell you what Plato said. I emphasize that a lot. We don't do narration. Heartbeat is not the description and the information given. That's not the philosophy. If we do that, we are doing some other thing. You see, so the student has to come to class having read the raw material. That's why I even went out of my way to pull a subversion of the PDF of that document and put in your resource tool and copied the class. I'm not obliged to do that because the material is accessible online. But I did that just to make people's work a little bit more easier for them to have contact with the material. It wasn't a very big text. Allegory of the cave is not very big. You see, and the substance in it is not too technical. It's a story, an allegory, like a parable, like Jesus telling a story. And then after that, he tells you, okay, the farmer went to sow and some of the seeds fell here and another fell here. And when he finishes all the story, then he now tries to relate and open out what he meant. See, so you should know the story, the raw story. Then we can do the philosophy. And how will I know that you know? I open an assignment for you and say submit just a summary of what you have read, not work. You are not going to learn that thing, so you can't do any philosophical analysis, critical examination, any assessment, critical evaluation. No, that will not be fair. But you were just asked to summarize. But the summary should be a critical one that highlights the salient points. Okay, one that highlights the salient points in the text so that we can see what the point of the whole allegory is. That is what I'll reward you for. I could have just said, do that so you'll be prepared for the class. But I felt that you are great men and women. If you spend so much time to do such a summary, you must earn something for that. And I'm rewarding that. Okay. So please, if you haven't read and you feel that, oh, but it was just one day, our lecturer just gave us the way, it said one day. Really? I could have come to class even without notice and just referenced the course out and told you, did you see this there? It means you haven't read and asked you to submit. Please, when I mute, don't unmute. There's a lot of noise at someone's background. So until you're ready to speak, keep it muted. That's why I keep muting. And the person keeps unmuting. That's not good online. Keep it muted, my dear friends. Okay. I could mute all, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to run a monologue. I could disable all your mics. You can't even unmute at your end. But then what is the point of the interaction? Then it is better I do a recorded lecture, come and put that for you. But I want us to interact. Just that one will talk for the other to talk. One will talk for the other to talk. Then we can all benefit, you see. So if your background is that noisy, then keep your microphone muted. That's all. When you are ready to talk and you have been given the permission, then you're mute. We'll have a very wonderful class like we did with the main campus folks yesterday. They did very well, very, very well. The recording is on the academic channel. When we finish yours, I'll put yours to then give you the link on Sakai like we always do. Okay. But if you're on the channel, then you can get all the others. I can't just keep flooding your Sakai with all recordings. Main campus will do 2 of them, city campus will do 2 of them. So before long, we'll have 4 recorded links for just one topic. And if I'm circulating all on all the platforms, you will get lost in, the links. So I'll give your group the specific link for yours. But if you want to know what Tuesday group main campus and Thursday group main campus said, you can get it on that academic channel there. All right. So now we can take off. If you are clear in your minds that, well, the doc has a deal with us and she's trying her best to keep to that deal and help us read, then you will make sure every topic. So next week's topic is what? Man has no nature. The paper is Ortega. Those who do not know, I have put it there. It is in your resource too. Let's go back. That's the modus operandi for our interactions together. You have so much fun if you play along. But if you don't, then you'll be so stressed. Just make sure right after the topic, you have gone looking for, hey, what's our next topic? And you are preparing for it. Just read and then ask yourself questions. Some of them have interactions ongoing on the internet. You can look at some of the questions that have been asked. So that makes our discussions meaningful. I said yesterday's class, 2 hours went by, we're still discussing. So we cut our recording and continued about 30 minutes into time, just taking questions and point of views and, interaction. That is what philosophy is, a reflection and, conceptual analysis and, question asking and trying to respond to practical problems of existence and whatever. It was very, very interesting. We really had to decide to end it because if not, then it wouldn't end. And we still had over 200 people still signed up. The starting point was, I think, a little over 300, if I'm not mistaken. That's the point I'm making. So if you haven't read, you won't be able to follow and you won't contribute and you won't even, get the thrust of the whole discussion. That's why the student must be made to read. Okay, I'm saying that, look at my screen now, please, if you can, respectfully. You see that apart from the Allegory of the Cave PDF, which is there is also the Man Has No Nature by Ortega. The author is Ortega. This is Plato. This is the topic 1 we had, the lecture. Look at that lecture 1 PDF on what is philosophy, why study philosophy, the branches, what have you that we discussed, okay? Then what we are going to do today, this is the PDF. I know that there are people here who have never seen this side of the Sakai platform. I'm telling you, they've never seen that there is something called resources. They are there. This is it, reality versus appearance, Plato. Okay, and then I gave you the text, and so we are good to go. Perhaps it will help one other person if we went back to overview where your course outline is, and showed you that apart from Ortega, see, this is what we have done. So topic 1, that's lecture 1, we did all this. On the screen now, please, what is philosophy? Why study philosophy? How to read and write philosophy? The philosophical way of writing, argumentative, question asking. You go straight to the point. No embellishment, no, storytelling and making that. No. Philosophy doesn't do that, because everything you are saying can be subjected to scrutiny. So you want to be very careful not to say things that you can't substantiate. So you go straight, very simple, straight to the point statement. No long, elongated statement that goes round. Before we get to the end, we can't hear what you are saying. No, use simple language, straight to the point. I love you. I want us to be husband and wife. Finished. Not, oh, do you have a dog at home? Does it eat? Did your mother get up? Oh, really? So were you born by a woman? All this because you want to say I love you. No, philosophers don't do that. They go straight to the point, almost in a boring way, straight to the point. In this paper, I examine Plato's theory of forms. I seek to say that the theory does not blah, 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 or the theory does so and so and so and so. I will argue this in the first paragraph. The second, I intend to do this. Ultimately, I hope to argue that so and so and so and so. Full stop. That's your introduction. Your conclusion. This paper, this essay, this article, whichever it is, sought to show that Descartes has not defended his view that reality is. The first paragraph discussed this. You are concluding. The second paragraph looked at this. A third point examined this. I have ultimately shown, I hope, that so and so and so and so. Full stop. Read. No, the brightness of this day has given me the opportunity to write this paper. And I'm confident that by the time I finish, no storytelling. Descartes was born in the year 1617. At that time, there was so and so and so. Because of that, there were problems. And so nobody's interested in that. Google will do a better job at that. So what we are looking for is you reference it a bit and then you do your analysis, your question asking, your evaluation. You show the implications. You open out what the person is saying, the implications. See, and then you now reflect. Reflection means you show, okay, and we are going to do 1 or 2 with our friend's paper today, Allegory of the King. Okay, so how you read it and how you write it. How do you read it? The starting point of the person's paper will tell you immediately what they are going to do. Read strategically. Be careful when the person is only pointing out what others have said, in order for him or her to question and maybe introduce their own. Don't take what he or she is referencing to be his view. Because of how we write, if you're not careful, you ascribe things to authors that they haven't said. You are saying they said it, and they will tell you, hey, me, I didn't say that. Oh, I was telling you that, whose name is on the screen, so let's use the person's. I was telling you that according to Bless and Sarah, Clement's view is not defensible. Rather, it is Rahel's view that is defensible. But I would rather want to agree with Penkradia. See, this is how the person is writing. So if you go and say that Nancy says Sarah's view is not good, you say, hey, I haven't said that. I was only referencing someone. That's how philosophers write. So how to read the text is very important before you attribute things to people that they haven't said. Then we learned the approaches, the branches and sub-branches, or then the value, problem solving, evaluation. The values can be the one that are personal, as in you develop, you become that, and the others that you use to contribute to society are not gullible. So they are all there. You have the slides for that. We went through that last week. The focus point for that text is the unexamined life is not worth living. Kwame Gyekye's paper that is quoting the supposed Socratic claim. This unexamined life is not worth living. It's said by, we attribute that to a supposed Socrates. You see, I say that advisedly, okay? Because some don't think that he said that. Some think that some of the things are Plato saying it, but he puts it in the mouth of Socrates. Like Jesus didn't write anything about himself, Jesus Christ of the Bible, okay? But his disciples did. So sometimes people will say, Jesus didn't say it. It's Peter that is saying that Jesus said it, or it's Paul that says that and is attributing it to Jesus and stuff like that. We don't want to go into those. That is not the concern of this paper, this course. When you advance, you can do all the critical analysis of who said what and what, but it is attributed to Socrates. What is the claim? The life that is not subjected to continual examination is not worth living. Every day you are getting killed in a course. And you keep doing the things that you do that give you the kill. You don't want to subject it to examination. You evaluate and say, look, perhaps the time I spend braiding my hair, 16 hours a day, every 3 days I change it. Perhaps I could reinvest that into something. So can I have a hairdo that is chic, stylish, and all, but yet can take me to maybe 1 month, well kept, so that I can use those 16 hours, and commit it to my studies. If I finish my first semester or second semester, I could have all the hairdos every 3 days like I do. Maybe I could cut down on how much I'm spending on so and so and so I can save some money and purchase reading, materials or something like that, rather than this continual complaining about, I don't have the material, I don't know what to do. It took me 3 days before my mommy sent me money. Meanwhile, you have bought data, 17 Ghana cedis to watch what's up on social media. And yet, perhaps you could have purchased at least a book or two that are useful for you. If you were doing some critical analysis, perhaps, I say, says Socrates, you may be able to do some shiftings. So a life that is not subjected to critical examination, if you don't do a self-examination, that kind of life is not worth living. That's the point here. And Getty quotes that to write that book of his, which references how you do philosophy and then, its value and stuff like that. So that's a way of summarizing your topic 1 for you. Then topic 2 is Plato's 2 worlds, what we are going to do today. And I know you've done the reading. After yesterday, I'm so impressed. The class will even get maybe a 1 mark each. Whether they like it or not, they are getting it. Okay, that's for main campus. I'm saying we are going to have a fun time also here. Then I was going to prompt you about your lecture 3, because I will take your critical summary again. I may not prompt you. I'll just enter class. It's in person for next week, if nothing comes up. Okay, if there's a bad rain or something, it is safer to stay wherever we are and come online and then record for those who may not be able to pick up. And if they have questions, they're always able to send their questions directly to me. I'll address them. Okay, it will be safer. But for now, the arrangement is it is in person. I could come to class. I said I could, so you better be prepared. And ask all of you, the class, please submit your critical summary on Ortega. Put it here. And I'll come and grade it and put it up there. Okay, so be aware. That's why the reading is there. It's what? Man has no nature. Ortega. And the Ortega paper I extracted from Miller's Questions That Matter. All right. The week after that will be informed consent. I'll see if we can get permission from the authors and then pull out that document also, that paragraph, and put on Sakai for you so that you can. But I'm not obliged to, so you better go around and look for the text. But I have a copy in my office here. I think the library also has one. But because of your numbers, we'll see how we can negotiate that care. Okay? And so on and so forth till the end of the course. So those who will join later will have something to do. We are good to go. Let's get your queries now, your comments. So what did you see in the text? I will take, I see 5 hands now. Dodo Gabriel, you want to start off for us? What did the Allegory of the Cave show you? Or what did you see in it? If you are not ready, someone else. Sarah's hand is up. Raphael's hand is up. Okay, I see Ernestina. Ernestina, set us off. Ernestina, bravo.
Okay, thank you, madam. In the story, I think I learned about prisoners being chained and not being able to look back to see the physical world, rather being shown the shadow of certain things and certain puppets just to see or realize what it is, as in what they see as their world, and they are stick to that as if that is their world. So anybody that will try to even release them from where they are, they might try to kill them. So that is just a small summary of what I've read. So
Thank you very much, Ernestina. We appreciate that. Anyone wants to continue? Pinkra, go ahead. Thank you, Ernestina.
Madam, please, what I also learned is that um, if you are to think that you are smarter than them, or to tell them that they don't know what, like, you know, this thing, what they're also saying is not true, they will try and kill you. As one of the prisoners were able to go out to see what was outside the world, coming back inside and telling the other prisoners that this and this that they are seeing as a shadow is real, but they got angry and they plotted to kill him. So in so doing, um, Plato brought a solution whereby is thinking where you make yourself ignorance, like you don't know anything, then you ask for other people's opinion, then you use it to get your answer. Yes, that's what I got from it.
Thank you, my dear lady. Well done.
You're welcome.
So good effort.
Thank
Let's take someone else. Prince, you already unmuted yourself. Could you hide your ID? It's not safe to be exposing your ID like that, okay? So it's better you use your name. Your name is fine. Okay, Prince, go ahead.
All right, madam. What I want to say is that when I read the allegory of the cave, I got to find out that the man who went back to the prisoner who went back to his friends to tell them that this is what he has seen. He is the philosopher. So when we go out to learn something new and we go back to tell those who don't know, those who don't think as we do, we the philosophers do. You see, he's the philosopher who went back, and they hated him because he had knowledge much more than them, and they refused to accept what he had. So what I really learned from this is that we all are not like, we don't have the knowledge unless we actually accept the fact to learn it, or we give ourselves the permission to learn it. That's what I want to say.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Let's take Nasiba Yusuf. I like what you are doing. The hands are plenty. Now I have to decide who I'm choosing. I like that. Go ahead, Nasiba. Please, when you comment, then you kindly put your hand up so that others can get the opportunity to. Okay, I'm trying to let us all bring our points up. Nasiba Yusuf. If Nasiba is not ready, then we'll take Nkrumah Yvette Bruce. Go ahead, Yvette. Yeah. Yvette, are you having challenges? Then I think we can take Alfred Mensah. Alfred, go ahead. What did you read in the text? That's all we are trying to do. Nkrumah Yvette, are you speaking? If you're having challenges, don't worry. Let's take Alfred, okay? It's fine. We can take Alfred. Alfred Mensah, go ahead.
Yeah, hello, madam.
Go ahead, sir.
Please, I read about, the story was about some people in a cave staying together, having their face,
Yes.
like facing one direction, and the other part was a fire set behind them, which had people passing by carrying objects.
Okay, so can
object,
everyone please see my screen? That is showing the fireplace, the allegory of the cave.
No, please.
No,
No, please.
no, please.
No,
No,
okay,
please.
not
No,
yet.
no,
Okay,
no, please.
it's fine. Okay, so I'll stop sharing and reshare. Go ahead, sir. Sorry for the interruption. Go ahead.
And the fire tool also placed shadows on the wall where the people were chained. So what the people could see only was the shadow. And uh, uh, this is what I read, and that's all I can say right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a good effort. Someone to continue. Well done. So some of your colleagues are giving us the story so that just in case we have remnants of Israel who did not make any attempt at looking at the text, they are still able to at least have a fair idea of what the story itself was and then what the meaning of the story is. And then I can also come in to fill in those gaps for you with the philosophical bits, okay? But the real work will be done by you sincerely, and I will only guide you so you develop your thinking skill, your analysis skill. Let me take Otu Rexford. Rexford, Otu, go ahead, please. Rexford, Otu, go ahead.
Most men trapped in the cave can be likened to people who are ignorant of what they're about. And so when someone emerges into the light and that's a philosopher, and brings a new way or a method, they find it very difficult to adapt because they've been instilled or it has been inculcated them with some beliefs and some superstitions that's from childhood. So it's very difficult for them to adapt into the new lifestyle. Thank you, madam.
Very good. It's difficult for them. I like that. The people, it's not that the people just don't like it, but they are so accustomed to the way they have done things in the past, so much so that they cannot embrace a new reality. What for them is a new reality has always been, has been a reality that is there, but they are used to what the senses have taught them all this while. Okay, very good. Doreen, Krista, go ahead. Go ahead with your submission, your contribution.
Please, what I learned from is that not only are some people ignorant, but they are hostile towards the people who point out because they've adapted their situation. It's somehow difficult for them to change their state.
Very good. They are hostile. Take note of all the contributions, so I'll connect them for you. They are hostile. So don't be worried when you are making an attempt at examining views that have been held by others for years, and if you feel that there's so much hostility, it might just not be your fault. I said, it might not be because you have a problem. It could be that you are touching, things that people have gotten themselves so accustomed to. They feel they have expert advice on it. They believe they are the boss, but it might just turn out that they are boss only in the cave, in the world of what? The non-physical. In only the world of what? Experience. If you're a religious person, there's a connection there. Sometimes it looks like you are a cake in the eyes of some people. It looks like you don't know what's up. But it could be that it's because you have knowledge of some reality. You've seen some light, you see? And so now when you even come back into the cave, you are helping to redeem such people. The thing is so nasty to you. You rather look like you are awkward. You see, the sun that you've seen out there is so bright that when you come into the cave situation, you struggle to find your way there. When you zoom out too much, the place is so dark for you, and the people in there feel that they have seen the light because they have a fireplace there. But you have seen the light, the true light out there, the sun and its light. So bright, so clear. You have seen the true nature of goodness, what it means to be good. You have conceptualized what it means to be just, a just society. You have a clearer vision of the real beauty, what it means to be beautiful. Beautiful may not be physical. We are going to connect in a bit. Okay, I'm going ahead of myself now. Beauty may not be in how many parts of your body you've exposed, for example. mind. Perhaps it will be in the being, the person. The person might be so beautiful, and it will not be how we have conceived it all this while, perhaps in our everyday life, where it is all what is seen, what we hear, what we touch, taste, and smell. This is Plato's heartbeat. Perhaps democracy, if we were to rethink and reflect and not be, distracted by how we visualize things, what experience is teaching us. Experience is knowledge coming through the five senses. You are either hearing, seeing, you are touching, tasting, or smelling. That is experience when we speak philosophy. Whilst reason is what you reflect on. You don't use your physical part to do. You use your mind. Some will call it soul. Some will call it spirit. The non-physical aspect of a person is the one that is responsible for what? Reasoning. If you are a spiritual person, you will say meditation. You will say, what is the other word? Prayer, if you like. It is the non-physical part of you that does that communes, that reflects, that meditates, that thinks, that reflects. It is the intelligible part of you that can sit and say, are we really running a just society? Is this what justice should be? Philosophy, normative, prescription, not description. Okay, so you may be asking yourself questions. You may be, should we treat everybody equally? Is that what justice is? So if we are ensuring that we have a just society, say in Ghana, then should our resources be distributed into 16 and every region gets the same quantity? That's equal treatment, perhaps. But will equal treatment be just? What I'm doing is a philosophical reflection. I said those in class, some of the classes I attended for you people. Perhaps we shouldn't, because some regions may have 30 million people, example, okay? Whilst another may have just 1 million people. So will it be just to give 1 million people, an equal share? Look at the word, equal. Like we are giving those who are 30 million, just because there is another region. Perhaps justice will mean, see what I'm doing? Perhaps, maybe, could it be, isn't it this? Wouldn't it lead to this? What I'm doing is philosophical reflection. Wouldn't it be fair then? See, the language has changed. To rather give those who have more need, more resources relatively, so that if someone is 1 million and someone is 30 million, maybe it's only fair that we give the 30 million more. However, there might be the question of, what if the 30 million produce only 10 cities? In other words, 5% of the resources, whilst the 1 million, few as they are, produce more than half of the resources. Won't we kill their ingenuity if we say, oh, bring, let us go and feed the poor? Then before long, they'll stop producing half the resources that comes for sharing. Because then it comes, they get nothing. So then the philosophical mind is negotiating these curves, reflecting, so that what ultimately we will produce an outcome. Remember Kwame Jechi, to solve practical problems of existence. We will produce an outcome that says, perhaps we should do it this way. That proposal will not be based on how we see it, how we hear it. It's not observation based, it's reflection. So the symbolism of the cave, and then outside of the cave where there is a tree, and then a human person, one of them breaks off the chains, the bonds of imprisonment that keeps folks down there. All of it, according to Plato, is to show what? Philosophical reflection, where you are not getting used to how things are done inside it, because he feels it is all experience, senses, the physical. You see the man is the one who gave big money. So even if he's talking, excuse my language, someone say, excuse my friend, even if he's talking gibberish, we all clap, wow, 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 he's a big man. Because he gives us the food to eat. He's the one that buys the product. He is the bosu, but bosu in the cave is bosu empty. That's the point Plato is making. And so he says it is the one that is thinking, asking questions, that will get himself broken from what? The chains of what? Experience. So we don't say we saw it. Since my 30 years of practice as a medical doctor, whenever a patient comes and has symptoms XYZ, he dies the next day. You two are sitting in front of me, I've checked. You have symptoms XYZ. So get ready, buy a Udome estate. In other words, buy an estate at the cemetery. You are dying tomorrow. This person is speaking from experience. Experience, what he has observed, what he has heard. But must yesterday necessarily be like tomorrow? Not necessarily. If you are reflecting, you know that it is possible that tomorrow might not be like today. It doesn't mean you will not be guided by the senses, but you don't take it hook, line, and sinker, says Plato. Climb out of the entanglement of the physical. Well, you know, there might be new drugs that can solve it. Okay? We did several examples at the lecture hall because the senses deceive us. They told us that the earth is in the center of the universe for many, many hundreds of years, I'm told. The geocentric view. The whole society, generation upon generation, believed, thought they know knowledge, thought they know. They were certain that what? The earth is in the center of the whole universe. So in other words, all other, planets or heavenly bodies were revolving around the earth. Such a deception. Why deception? Because at the time we thought we knew it to be true. How did we know? Scientific. What is science? Empirical. The five senses. But as we speak, it's heliocentric view. It turns out that really we were wrong. It's the sun, rather that is in the center of the universe. Therefore, if Plato tells you that what your senses are telling you, what you thought you knew, this roommate of yours that you thought you know that she can never steal, it is what you have seen, what you have heard, what you have touched and tasted that is making you arrive at that. Plato says everything physical is changing. Everything that is given to us in sensation is not permanent. The church folks amongst us, we say the world and everything in it is passing away. It's not real. It's not stable. It's not static. It's not the actual. Everything physical is changing. So the physical table you are sitting on, just give it, maybe by close of day, someone will break the leg and it will become firewood. Before long, it is ashes. It can be destroyed. My fine sister, that if someone greets you, you won't respond, my dear sister, because you are posh and fresh. Give it time. You will become grandma, all wrinkled up. You see, we love our grandma, miss. I always say that, with their wrinkles and all. But I'm telling you, she was posher than you. The body go pass. I wish it was at church. I would say, tell your friend, the body go pass. It's physical, Plato says. It's just a matter of time. Your new shirt that you have hung in your wardrobe. The course is what? The course is philosophy, introduction to philosophy. And Kwame Jechi says, we do philosophy by reflection, but the aim is to deal with practical problems of existence. I will never stop repeating that. Otherwise, philosophy will lose its purpose. If it is all reflection and all abstract and, utopian, you are talking about things out there. Let the people see the connection. I said that your designer coat in your wardrobe. This is what Plato is saying. That you don't want anybody to touch it. If you like, don't do anything to let it hang there. It will be destroyed by itself by 3-4 years. When you go, you will even recognize it will be tattered. So what? So when we are gathering so-called knowledge, now I'm speaking Plato because he won't call it knowledge. When we are gathering information, opinions, beliefs that are coming from the five senses to us, Plato says, take it with a pinch of salt. Know that that is not the reality. Real things don't change, says Plato. Real things are simple. One. Simplicity here means one. It's not a complex matter, a combination of one or two. No, it's just one. So there is only one real table. Every other table you see physically, which you can touch, you can smell, you can taste, it's just a photocopy of it, an instance of it, a particular of it. That is why the particular one can be destroyed. So the party chairs and tables that we brought for our parties, which were very fresh, give it 2 years, 3 years. When the people come to hide, they will say they don't like this one. They like the other one. The curtains at home that you change at least every year is because they have outlived their purpose. That particular curtain can be destroyed. That fine sister who has a smooth face, that face can be destroyed by a slap from Jack Toronto, Uncle Johnny Bravo that the sister is dying over. One slap from him, the sister's face will be twisted upside down because she's just a particular example of beauty. But the idea of beauty, the concept of beauty, the form of beauty, these are all Plato's words. Form, capital F, idea with a capital I, concept with a capital C. If you are referencing Plato's theory of forms or theory of ideas or theory of what? Essences, they must always start with capital E because he's trying to make a point. There's another one who will be using that like Aristotle, but he used forms and you can't reference Aristotle's forms with a capital F. He's not talking about that. Okay, so when you are writing Plato's own, the form of a table, that form, the word form must be capital F. Plato says it is the form of a table that is real. That is the idea of tableness. That one you can't destroy it. You can't destroy tableness, but you can destroy a table. So the dining table can be destroyed. The study table can be destroyed. The particular example of a table can be destroyed, the photocopy. But the original, where is the original? It's the intellectual one, the abstraction, the idea. That one you can't destroy it. The idea of beauty, you can't destroy it. The idea of justice, you can't destroy it. It's one. And therefore, the real thing is the world of form. The reality of a thing is its form, capital F. What is the form? The idea of it. You can't destroy an idea of a table that someone is conceptualized. You can't destroy that, but you can destroy the physical table. You can't destroy the idea of beauty. Plato says, so real things are not physical. They don't change. I've introduced something else. When I start showing you the slides, then you see the connection. This is what he's trying to do. And then he uses the allegory of the cave to connect and show you that is how come sometimes we are so engrossed, involved with the physical, that we think we have reached the real. But if it is real, it shouldn't be distractible. Now see, your physical body, as you are sitting there now, my brother or sister, that body, if I want to restrict you, your physical body, I can put you in your room and lock it and say you're not going out. You will be stuck there because the physical body is subject to what? Space and time. But your mind cannot be kept there. You can be sitting here listening to, as you are sitting there, your body is fixed, but your mind can go to America and come. Your mind can go and check if the food you are cooking, if the food you are cooking is burning or not. Meanwhile, your physical body is sitting at church, supposedly listening to the pastor. You see that? But the pastor says, praise the Lord. You are thinking about the rice cooker. Your mind can go because your mind cannot be restricted. So when you see a physical body is subject to space and time, but mind is not spatio-temporal, that big brofo, that's all it means. So if you tell someone, sit down, I'm the lecturer, so I say sit down. Physically, you can be sitting. In your mind, you can still be standing. You don't know. People don't know. Because I can't restrict your mind. I can't say that you shouldn't move. I'm talking about the non-physical part. So you can reflect. You can be the richest man on earth in your mind. No one can stop that. Meanwhile, physically, you are sitting somewhere begging for food. It is in the mind. Plato says the real things are not physical. I'm not preaching to you. I'm telling you what Plato said. So the way we are so engulfed with the physical, who will be the chairman of an event? The one who has a big car. The one who is stout, well-built, thick and tall. But sometimes, I said sometimes, not brainy, nothing. He can't think. He can't solve problems. He's not asking anything. He has nothing to propose. That is what that spatio-temporal there is supposed to tell you. Now, if you were to die today, you and I, okay, we don't care how much you have. Oh. We will start, in fact, Africa, they will call you a thing. The body will now become the thing. At the end, say, as in already say, if we don't take the thing away, it is getting spoiled. Rich guy, yes, with all the physical attributes. Maybe you are even thick and tall. You know, women, they call it was 6 packs, eh? You have all of that. So physically, mentally, no. Let me say it was so that I don't get confused. When you advance, you see that brain and mind are not the same. So think of mind as the soul, the non-physical part, okay? You have all the physique and all, but if the soul leaves you, that body, I tell you, we don't care even if you are the president, it won't sleep on its bed. Kofi Annan, the world president, that's how I describe it. The whole world, UN Secretary General, when he died, where did we put him? The dying means the non-physical, but the real you, says Plato, has left. But the mad person, apologies, I'm not saying mentally sick, the mad, so that you get my point well. The thing is dismantled. He walks from Accra to Cape Coast and from Cape Coast and back. I've been doing that since time immemorial. Mad, spitting on people left, right, center. He has not been buried. No one will catch him and dig the soil and put him there because he hasn't lost his essence. Says Plato. He doesn't have all the status. Maybe he smells like something. He smells than the gutter behind your house. But the soul, which is the essential him or her, is still there. Meanwhile, the rich man or the one who has all the world status, this and that and that, the day the soul leaves, in fact, if the person is a Muslim friend of mine, if you're not lucky, you will stay beyond the day. That body will go down into the earth. The point then is, Plato says there is a real you, there is an essence. That one is not the physical body sitting there. The real you is non-physical. The real table is non-physical. The real justice is not your practicing of just acts. Those are examples. The real goodness is not your giving to the poor. Giving to the poor is an example of goodness. Not cheating on your friend is an example of goodness. So there are several instances, particulars, photocopies of what? The good. But they are not the original. The original is what? Goodness, the idea. If you got all of that, then now you will see why Plato has been labeled by some, traditionally as what? A rationalist. Why is he rationalist? He thinks that the true knowledge, what we should really call knowledge, reality, reality, the real things are known via what? Reason, via intellect, via what? Mind, via what? The non-physical. So when he wants to know what is real, see, this statement is straddling with metaphysics and epistemology. That's why I want you to get it well. To know the real, you depend on what? Mind or intellect or soul or spirit. In other words, the non-physical. That is what you depend on, reflection, to attain the true reality. So in this world, where we are depending on our 5 senses, the empirical, Plato says what you are getting from the 5 senses. I've given you examples from science to medicine to, your roommate that you thought you really knew her until she stole your 6,000 cedis and left school. Everybody is shocked. Hey, I really know her now. Really? You haven't known her yet in this world? Plato says reality is not given to us by the senses. We acquire the real true knowledge by what? Philosophical reflection, enlightened. So the more you are, I don't want to use spiritual language, but the more you are cutting yourself off this physical body and all its channels of corruption. That's how Plato describes it. What I'm seeing is only corrupting me. What I'm hearing is corrupting. Why is it corrupting? It's not helping me to see the reality. You see how you can go and fast or something, those who believe in that. You stay days, and then when you switch on the telly after you fast, you will see the sister. If you're a you see a sister wearing bikini that I wish you were seeing me, has done this, jaga. And then it starts jumping you, bringing you down, down, down. You want to fast, then 12 midnight, someone is frying plantain and chicken with shit up. 12 midnight. Sister, only before by day. When you are fasting and you are taking a bed, maybe the third day, during the fast, the third day, papa. The body is now getting accustomed to then 12 midnight, when you are up to pray, you smell cocoa. The person is frying ripe plantain and chicken. She steamed the chicken before frying. So the steaming fry, and then she puts in the microwave. The whole floor. When you say makatada bahai, say body bed. The infiltration through the nostrils is corrupting your view, says Plato. You don't want to steal again because you have reflected, you have meditated. You think that it is not fair to take that which is not yours. Because suppose you did that and someone also did that, your society will break down. So you see clearly what is the right thing to do. What is the just thing to do? What is the good thing to do? So you don't want to steal again. But then as soon as you decide you won't do that, when you open your eyes at the trotro station, as you are climbing into the car, a bundle of Nanado's 200 Ghana cedis, a big bundle, has fallen under the trotro. You have seen it. If you didn't see, you won't get tempted. You have seen it. Brothers, I don't want to use that other example, you see, because it's still too early. But as you are climbing the car, the sister's something. She's also climbing and she's in front of you. You have waited, you say, God, I'm going to keep myself clean. As soon as you go to the trotro, sister has exposed everything. The point is, if you didn't see swear, then it wouldn't corrupt your view of what? Reality, what is really good to do. So Plato, when you advance, you will see Plato's argument is, if you want a clear, look at those big men and women who set up big institutes, they will tell you at their conceptualization stage, sometimes they don't even want any visits. To tell the secretary, if everybody wants to see me, tell them I'm busy now or I'm not around. Because that 1 hour, the person wants to reflect, think through without any obstruction and infiltration of what? The senses. They don't want to hear. Because what you hear can interfere with your view of the real as you are thinking, as you are meditating, as you are picturing it in your mind's eye. You can hear something that will make you change your mind. So that for Plato, and I think I round off with that, the senses don't give us knowledge. They give us opinion. They give us beliefs, and beliefs can be false. They don't give us true knowledge. So the philosophical person or the philosopher who unchained himself or got set free from the bondage down there climbs out one at a time. Who is asking that question? How will you remove that chain? You are all together down there. Then all of a sudden you remove your chain. Who will make you remove? You have to ask a question B. Why would you all of a sudden say, but why are we poor? Africa. We can't be poor. We shouldn't. With all the good, and I always like to quote our fine first gentleman of the night. He will say, Yetisikazu. So a comedy. You know that. We can't. There is no excuse. Look at the sea just across here. The fish in it. People live in parts of the world that they don't see the sea. So they travel to see the sea. We have fish. We have the sea sand. We have sunlight, gold, diamond, vegetation. Look at the greenery. People don't have it where they come from. They have snow and tsunamis. But we are hungry. But we have the soil to plant food and eat. They don't even have it. Some don't even have space. My dear friends, I'm asking questions. You don't even have space. So they do what is artificial, whatever, planting. They create the space somewhere. It's not natural, it's organic. and then force and create some canopy and get an atmosphere that is trying to be like what we have for free. But we are hungry. Can it be? We are hungry. If I tell you that it is the philosophy in the system, the philosophy is not enough. People are not thinking. Or perhaps they are thinking, but they are not thinking well. Apologies about the matter. Why should some have so much they can waste and throw it across when others have nothing? Nothing. They are sleeping on the street. The thinking is sick. Someone must get up. And I told you, all those who did that, your friend said it. All those who asked those questions. So they started climbing out. Why should marriage be that expensive? Should marriage, look at the concept of marriage. I love someone. The person loves me. We want to live together. Why should it matter to you whether we did it in the airplane or we did it on the sea or we did it at our home? Why? Who is asking that question? Someone is dead, my dear friends. The person needed small money, small food, maybe. He couldn't get from uncle or brother or sister because maybe uncle is enough. The brother is say, oh, if there's 11, so I can't do the transfer. You don't worry, this weekend I'll come. When I come, I'll find something for you. Everybody's tossing the person left, right, center. Didn't get food, gets sick, also didn't get medicine, dies today. The day the person dies, we will galvanize everybody, so-called family. Everybody will come. Those who are even outside the country will take plane, book a flight, emergency flight, and get here. Because we are coming to bury this year. Our royal is a family member. This is my niece. I have to make sure that I'm more inclined to speak some of the language, so permit me, but I translate them. Others I don't speak. I'm still learning some, one or two to check my how far I'm learning. I'll now go the day. I do. This year, the persons are royal. You have landed. Look at how much it cost you to pay the plane ticket. Someone now at the office say, really, I'm not going to see my father. I'm told that now he has passed. So we really have to go. Funeral day, we really have to go. We really. It will take night, what's the name? Transport and get there in the morning. To do what? To put him in a good fridge for 3 months and pay daily. Do the 1 week, do the 40th day, do all the days. We love our people. When they are departed, we respect at least the body for a while. But excuse me, 6 years? Hey, who is thinking? What are you doing? The person has left 2 children. How they will eat, we don't know. Their school fees, we don't know. When a father dies, a father leaves. After funeral, look at how much people will come and eat and drink. The guy needed, or the woman or the grandma or something needed 30 Ghana. She won't get. But the funeral protracted. Even the funeral grounds, how people will come and do the donation. Our banks will go and sponsor funeral and bring a rep with their book. On the funeral day, they will recoup every money they invested, so they are not worried. Go and ask for 3,000 to start shea butter production. They will ask for all the collaterals in the world. I told you that the questions will ask, they will shake foundation. So it's not everybody that likes it. But I'm asking questions. I've not said anything. So this funeral that we did, then the cloth color, we want a little black and a little red. So the family people also are close to do the red, and the children must do the black. Then the people from the church must do black and white. And this, my friend, who is thinking, who is reflecting, who is asking questions? The person has passed. We love them, respect the body. 1 week, 2 weeks, we have gathered. We let the person go and rest. Keep that 7,000 that you used to buy Star beer and Guinness and takeaway bowls that people are fighting over and cursing. Keep that 7,000 in an account for those 2 children. Let them eat and organize themselves. It's wiser. If you were climbing out of the cave a little, you will see a little light out there. That is responding to practical problems of existence. If Nana has passed, we love our traditions. We respect our traditions. They keep us intact. But please, we don't need any human hairs to accompany them. That is if it's even done at all now, wherever in Africa. We have to think, reflect. You have finished school. All you are looking for is white-colored job. Who should create the job for you to come and do? Who? So if I say I'm a farmer now, then it is as if, oh, farming saying actually, farming saying. Meanwhile, I'll tell you that someone may be a farm hand. The money, and this is a farmer who owns the farm, is a farm hand. He's never hungry because before he finishes plucking the corn, he has his banku, a condo for banku. He has the one he will use for snack. So he won't buy food. If they give him 50 cedis a day, 1 month is how much? You are wearing tie. You are working from market to market because you work with an insurance company after degree. When you do all your commission, then you get 300 cedis. Then they give you 600 as your end of. That's 900 cedis. The person who is getting 50 cedis a day, who doesn't buy food, no transport, no working gear, no need for, suit, latte, and tie. That person saves 50 cedis a day. 50 a day. Check you and him. Who is poorer? I'm not thinking. So, my dear friends, Plato's allegory that we have been babbling over is saying that the status quo, what we are used to, we say, oh, that's how we do it here. When the person has even thought through something and has alternative ways to help us negotiate the same problems, they are hostile. But Plato says you must feel obliged to go back into that cave situation. Go there, help them because you are able to empathize with them better. You are able to understand the depth of the ignorance because you were there. You also thought that that is how it should be until you saw a little light as you asked questions, as you reflected, as you pondered over how we can make it better. That is the preoccupation of the philosophical enterprise. And that is why Plato says, until philosophers rule, there can be no peace. People think that when he says that, it means that when you come and do philosophy alone. I've told you that all your courses you are doing, ultimately, you are pursuing philosophy. Master of philosophy in econs, master of philosophy in sociology, master of philosophy in medicine, MPhil, that's what it means. When you reach a higher level of your thought in every discipline, you'll be a philosopher. If you don't like it at masters, you go to PhD to be doctor of philosophy in something. And Plato's heartbeat is that we will get people that have creative minds, that aim at responding to problems of existence. That's what philosophy does. Who think they are questioning standards in the hope to make it better, not that questioning to run it down, no. But they ask questions, pertinent questions. Jesus asked a lot of questions. You know that. He says, you, these people, you tithe a mint and this. When you finish, then you block the people from coming in. Who amongst you has not sinned? Throw the first stone. It doesn't mean to condone go and sin, for example, but to show you that you are missing the point of punishment, Mr. Lawyer or Mr. Judge. The point is to restore the person, not to make the person worse off. That's the point of punishment. So daddy who has whipped the boy out to the point that now the boy has become recalcitrant, or someone steals a mobile phone and goes to jail 3 months, but by the time he returns, he's worse off. He's worse off. Who is asking that question? Who is proposing alternative ways of doing the same thing? Can the person be brought to Legon campus to come and sweep? Take the person to Makola. Let them clean drains. We will solve problems and he will learn his lessons, I hope. If he doesn't, there are a lot of places to clean. 3 months, but you put him in there to go and meet people who are selling tramo. When he comes back, what will he be? You'll enjoy that place better. So if you say, oh, he delivered to go arrest him, he's even happy, I've missed it. Because punishment must have a focus. So if you are thinking through it, you say your son has stolen at school, you are cutting off his fingers to show him that it's not good to steal. A woman, bad time, you have poured hot water into a bucket and taking his hand to put into the water for it to burn him so that he doesn't steal again. Do you know what you're teaching the child? I'm teaching him how to be a good arm robber. So my point is, if we were thinking through, see, I think I've touched on almost everything. I hope, not everything, but I mean, most part of our practical life. A philosopher is not happy about the status quo. We are all inside, bound. He thinks, solves problem or responds to problem, proposes alternatives, reflects. So he's not always the friend of a lot of people. He doesn't have permanent friends. Doesn't have permanent friends. Not because he's not good, but because even the friend will enjoy some of the philosophical analysis. But the banner and fan they'll tell you, you say you are a friend. You're only a friend when the person has money. Is it good? Okay? As you climb out and you get the view, you may feel reluctant to come down, but no, you are obliged to come. I finished my presentation. Now I can walk you through the slides unless you have any questions. If you have questions, kindly put up your hand, I'll take them. And then we'll go through the slides and make sure we have touched everything. It's important to me. And then we can end. Any questions? If it's a question, you may just unmute and ask. I see Bless's hand up. I see Sarah's hand. I see Jacqueline Lamte's hand up. If there are questions, please unmute and ask. If not, then let me project the slides now. Normally, when you are talking, you don't want to be projecting alongside because sometimes people get distracted. But now that we are all done, then I can point out the key things there. Jacqueline, your hand is up. Is there a question? Sarah's too. Then I see Kumi Kingsley. Kumi Kingsley, please, if it's a question, go ahead. Kingsley,
okay,
Kumi.
madam.
Yes, sir.
Madam, please, my question is, if the good is not the original and the appearance is not the reality, and no one has ever expressed their ideas to their satisfaction, then to what extent can one depict the indebted form or idea to become original?
My brother, I don't understand your question. Please, if you could just rephrase. I think you're reading it. You're reading your question.
Because I wrote it, madam.
Okay, please. Kindly come again. Let me listen to you closely now.
Okay, madam. So the question I wrote is, with your presentation, yes. If I heard you right, yes, you said that the good is not always the original.
I said the good action. Okay, so let me I get you now. One clarification on Plato's conception of the good. So think of beauty versus a beautiful girl. Okay, a beautiful girl is an example of what? Beauty, because she participates in beauty. That's why you call her beautiful girl. But your table too can be a beautiful table. We can have a beautiful phone and a beautiful car and a beautiful hair and a beautiful flower vase and a beautiful frame. You see, so there can be several things that are beautiful. They bear the predicate of what? Being beautiful. Several things can be like that. But what is beauty itself that makes these things that you are calling beautiful, beautiful? When I ask you what is beauty, the idea of beauty that these particular things I've mentioned have, what will you say? That's the question of the form. So in the same way, we can have several good acts. It's good to return people's money to them if you see it on the floor. It's good to help the poor. It's good to tell the truth. It's good to do so many. So these are all particular instances of what? Good. However, what is the good itself? The original meaning of goodness, tableness. Plato says it is that one, the original, that is real. But all the others are particulars. They are not real. I don't know if that helps.
Yes, please, madam. I understand. But then I also want to ask that then to what extent can someone express the original, the form, the idea which is in the person? To what extent can the person bring it for us to say, okay, now this is the original?
So you express the particular. The original is not expressible. The original is the idea. That's why it cannot be changed. Okay, you can't change tableness. You can't alter. You can't destroy goodness. But you can destroy a good act. Like when you are giving to the poor, and then you carry all the cameras to follow you. Small indomie you are going to give to poor children. Small packs of indomie. You bring all the journalists in the world to follow you and snap it and put on YouTube. You, Mr. Artist, you have spoiled the good you are doing. You see, my brother, you get my point. So you can destroy the beautiful sister's face. I said it with so much pawns. Pawns, baby, you can destroy her face. So she's beautiful. She's an instance of beautiful. But that particular example can be destroyed. But you cannot destroy beauty itself. So it is the particular examples that we see, we hear, we type, but they are the photocopies. If I did copies for you, this course, I didn't do any reader for you. I'm just giving you the soft versions, okay? But if I did photocopies for you, you would see that some could come and say, oh, doc, please, my photocopy, this part didn't come. The first page didn't come. The middle is faint, because it's not the original. That's the point Plato is making. Okay, so the originals are not perfect.
Okay, madam.
The particulars are not perfect. The photocopies are not perfect. The
Are not
original
perfect.
yes. I'm tracing your read the PDF. That's what is getting me a little distracted. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let's take the next one, please. Let me see, who can I call now? So let's get Moses Akufu. After that, I can take after that, I'll take Kweju. I think it's Kweju. Let's take Moses first. Moses, go ahead.
Hello, madam.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask the role of the people holding the objects in front of the fire. What was their purpose to the people that
they are the boss who in the cave? Uncle Moses, don't talk much. They are the bosses there. They are the, you see, I want to be very cautious, but they are the supposed custodians of the land, because they are not seeing the shadows that those who are seated are seeing, you see, but they are still in the cave. So
okay, so madam, we can relate these people to maybe religious leaders, or
I don't want to. I told you I want to be cautious now. You see that? But you are the philosophical mind. Think of a doctor who says, I've practiced for 30 years. I know what I'm telling you. Or a professor who says, sure. Now you are just a fresher. Do you know how much work I've done on this? So the person is telling you, but I think that we should check this idea that the earth is in the center of the universe. Because what I am seeing, if you think about it, if the earth is here and the sun is here and the moon is here, then they can't have this relation. The person says, shut up. You see how it's, I don't want to say so many things, but think about it. They tell you, it is the place of a child to break the back of what? A snail, not that of the crocodile. Really? But you are not wearing anything. They don't want to tell you. You are naked. They are saying, oh, Nana, this your invisible dress looks nice on you. Oh, Nana, really? The guy has come to deceive the king. The king is wearing nothing because the king is looking for a dress that no one can see. No one can ever buy some, sorry. I mean, a perfect dress. So someone comes and outsmarts your king. You know that story? And the king, so it says, king, look at the dress. And the king is looking at the guy. He's not holding anything. And the guy says, no, look at it very well. So he looks and says, so beautiful that no one can see it, let alone buy. Really? He says, yes, so take off your gown. He takes it off. He says, let me wear it for you, push it on. Virtually wearing nothing. The whole nation, the long live our king. The king is parading, showing his dress. The guy is wearing nothing. Then the little boy is prompting, Daddy, why is the king naked? He said, hey, keep quiet. He's wearing an invisible dress. The boy said, invisible dress? No, I can see everything. The top and down. Nana too is well built, so you can imagine everything is showing. The whole nation is, oh, what a nice dress, what a nice dress. Nobody is telling the king the truth. I'm speaking figuratively. But the little boy who can see, because he's not so stuck into all the politics, and if you go and say they will kill you, he's just seeing what he's saying and saying it. They tell you to shut up. A system that says a child breaks the back of a snail, not that of a dog. Of course, there are meanings to it. It's not as literal as that. They want to say that bite the little you can chew at a time. So there is a wealth of depth in that statement. But I'm just taking it at a face value. They won't even let you talk. The place of a woman is the kitchen. Really? Kitchen. When some women are in space, you have put your women in kitchen. It doesn't mean they shouldn't cook or take care of the home, but you can't make that their place. You will hurt yourself. So if that is the system that is running, my dear friend, the question you asked, then the bossy people who are custodians over that will ensure that it is like that forever. So you may have religious leads there. You may have so-called experienced hands, political leads. They call the shots. That's why they are not in the chains down there. But even their so-called boss that they are, I don't want to use an expression because we have special students, but the one that we are familiar with, you see, they'll say that in the land of the whatever, the so-and-so is, I don't want to use that. But think about it. They don't know nothing, but they are the bosses down there. This is the point I'm making. Professors, religious leads, societal boss, this people say, development is to develop the nation, and the guy is saying nothing. Doesn't know development. How will he give you development? When you ask him what is development, he says it is to develop the nation. But I don't know development. Give me the meaning of it so I'll know if I can trust you with my vote. He says, oh, development is when you develop the nation. But what does it mean to develop the nation? That's what I'm asking you. And you are repeating that to me. It means you have no content to deliver. Freedom for all, nothing. They are the boss people, they're my brother. That's my answer. I hope you are answering.
Okay. Yeah. So, madam, if someone, maybe the philosopher sees the greater reality of maybe the whole picture, and he revealing it can cause him to his life, or maybe can cause him death.
Socrates died. Jesus Christ died. Martin Luther King Jr. died. You can mention Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana. I believe he tried to deal with some very pertinent issues. He was killed for it. I can mention many names. Sometimes not physical death, as in the ones I've mentioned. Sometimes you are ostracized. Society thinks that you are awkward. Sometimes there's hostility because you are touching foundations. I can mention a church that I love so much. The chairman came and said, look, these doctrines we were holding onto in the past are inconsistent. We can adjust it, not because the Bible has changed, but because how we are interpreting the Bible is problematic. If this my church person is in Iceland and is feeling cold, Iceland, you want her to wear skirt without any trouser underneath. How will she work? To bring money for us to develop our branches. You say it's man's clothing. How will she work? She should go and wear skirt there and get frozen. So I think we should rather emphasize decency and stop this idea about this is for men and this is for women. And so the person, this very respectful man, adapt that and then introduces a version of the church setup that we can do this. I don't have to cover all this beautiful hair that God has given me because I'm going to church. Why? Tell me not to be too extravagant, extremely extravagant, that it will be distracting. It is to pull people's attention. That's fair enough. But on my wedding day, if I put a little lip shine to get it a bit more pronounced, where is the sin in that? So this man comes and does these alterations. People criticized him. I'm not mentioning names, but you can associate with that a lot. People Question that. Thought that this man is bringing the church's spirituality down and stuff like that. But think about it. If I have to remove my scarf from my bag and cover my head before I say the Lord's Prayer, when I'm going to fall into a ditch, I'm driving and there's accident coming, I should go and look for scarf before I pray, because women must cover their head before they pray. Yes, it is good. It's a good principle. It gives you some modesty, including men too. But is it a hard and fast rule? I should look for my scarf. I'm dying, before I shout Jesus. Before you say Jesus, you are in the ditch. So there is a question asking that must go on. As soon as that happens, you are labeled something. So sometimes not a physical death, but it costs you something. But you want open ear, obre. So a lot of tact. That's what I would advise. A lot of humility. When I went through the course outline, which I said it is a sign of intellectual depth, you see, to admit where someone's argument is higher than yours. A true thinker, a problem solver, is not arrogant. It's very assertive, down to earth, and yet very objective about matters. So you can ask questions, you can correct with a lot of what? Honor and respect. You can introduce your perspectives to a matter with a lot of discernment and try to be as crisp as possible so that you hit the point. And I think that way that you don't have to die physically like others did, but you can solve problems. You see that. But it is a dangerous ground sometimes, depending on
Okay,
what
madam.
you
So, madam.
Thank you. Hey,
Madam.
Moses, you let others talk. Go ahead. I've heard you. Go ahead.
So it is the wish of this bossy people that you are talking about for we to live
Yes,
in the
sir.
cave and control maybe our reality for us.
Some of them don't know that they don't even know reality. That's the pathetic part. They think they know. But others too, they like to be the bosses. Just that. But mostly what Plato is dealing with is where people think they know, they are the authority in it. I told you about a doctor who will tell you that you don't have the womb that gives birth. That kind of fibroids I see there, you can't give birth. So be at peace. Find some child and adopt. And, look at how I'm speaking. Does it look like someone who is modest? I don't need to shout about it, but this is a sign that it is conclusive. Don't you hear doctor declare? The doctor declares the person can't survive. You are declaring. Hey, on what basis? You see, that's what I mean by the boss. You can say that, the evidence we have available, the research that we as medical folks, we have now, we are unable to help. But you may consider other alternatives. You see that? You can allow, yes. But this one, they declare you and leave you on the bed, waiting for the day that the declaring will manifest. The kind of fibroids you have, you cannot give birth, cannot. Hey, I believe in virgin birth. Someone didn't even need a seed to get pregnant. So there are other alternatives. A sign of someone who is making room for the possibility of what? Other outlets is the one that will say, as for me, what I know, I'm unable to help at this stage. But if you have anything that is dear to you, medically, I'm unable to. Look at the language. I know the same. One leaves room for other alternatives. But others speak as if they are the final bosses. And the painful part where we connect to Plato is what they are dealing with is what they know by experience. This is the point. Okay, all right. Let me take Emmanuel Kwesi. Hey, did you pray today? You are doing one project. It wants to hear only you. Or you can see my slide now. Let me take Emmanuel Kwesi. Emmanuel Kwesi, go ahead. If it is a question, if not, Francis Elom. Sarah, your hand is still up. Okay, Francis Elom, go ahead. If Francis is not able to speak, let me take Sarah. If not, then I've started projecting. I think you can see this now. Let me go and check. Okay, just a moment. 3 hands, but none of them is speaking yet. Go ahead, sir. Francis.
Yeah, most of my questions have actually been answered.
Excellent.
I want to. If people who think in philosophical way,
Yes, sir.
are less, their voice is less to be heard. What is supposed to be done? Because let's say the boss, people who call themselves don't think outside the box. People who think philosophical way are just few.
Yes.
Their voice is not heard.
Yeah.
Is it not going to maybe a coup or something?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. I think that finish. Sorry, finish it.
Because if people who think outside the box see things going wrong, and the people they are not thinking aside, they think they are comfortable at their own zone, and people actually want things to go right, but they rather they are just few and their voice are not being heard. So what's actually going to happen?
I think we have to just keep speaking, and we all should be. There are a lot of philosophers. So philosophers are not just those who do the course called philosophy. That's the point I made earlier. Because your econs or your socio or your religions or your, all the courses we talk about, medicine or what have you, ultimately aims at what? Master of philosophy, doctor of philosophy in something. You see that? So ultimately, there are a lot of people doing and thinking philosophy. But the point is, we have to be advocates. We have to speak. You have to want to correct. I used examples. I said at the lecture hall, when you are stepping out and the door is closed, only one tiny half of the door is showing. You have to tell your colleagues, oh, please hold on for a minute. Let's open it wide so we can all go out quickly. You are being a philosopher. You are being a problem solver. You are thinking. When you open your drains, or someone opens the drains at home, because it's raining and they see the drain going, they take their dustbin and they are going to pour inside. Now people will say, hey, doc, you should be able to say, oh, please, I beg, we can't do this. We we should be each other's keeper. Because we can consider, it's not church, this is not spiritual, but you will see that much of it is spiritual. That's why people allocate spirituality, or people interpret a lot of these philosophical writings to spiritual stuff. And strangely enough, people can think that philosophers, or generally speaking, philosophers are not religious. It is not true at all. They don't understand philosophy. So my brother, we just have to increase the advocacy, if you ask me. Okay, we should advocate more and make our little voice more pronounced, and then hopefully it will show. I hope that now you can see metaphysics. I think you will see it. Please, can you see the metaphysics on your screen?
Yes,
excellent. So let's quickly run through. I just want you to know that we've done everything. All that I've said has been done. Where is it again? We've done it all. Okay. So on your screen now, you see slide 1, it's metaphysics. The question of metaphysics, look on the screen now, please. I'll do it very fast. If you could mute yourself, it will be helpful. I don't want to lock you all up. Please mute it. Someone's thing is giving us feedback. So kindly mute it, mute it, mute. Thank you. Okay, so this one, all I have said, I'm trying to show you what I've said on the screen. Keep quiet, please. Don't unmute. I've muted all again, please, okay? So that I'll walk you through it quickly, that you are sure you saw everything before we go. See, the question of reality. People won't listen so well. I have just disabled the microphone for everyone because people just won't listen. Okay, so you won't be able to unmute for the few minutes ahead. I want to make sure that you have seen everything on the slides I prepared for you. Okay, look at this, metaphysics. The outline of the discussion was what? To show you the question of reality, which we have seen already. Metaphysics, Plato's allegory of the cave, the parable that he gave, and then how he used that to introduce his theory of forms. I see the forms, capital F. Okay. What next? You know that metaphysics is a branch of knowledge that seeks to determine the question, what is real, what exists, etc. You know all that. There is the monism. You can think of the question of reality in several ways. How has it been responded to? Some things there is only one thing that exists. Monism, mono, one. I told you of a monocotyledon, one. Okay, then dicotyledon, if you remember your science. Okay, so mono from the word one, monism, dualism, two. So those who think the ultimate reality is what? Two things. And then there's pluralism, those who think there are many. And we still have nihilism. Some say nihilism, those who believe that there is nothing that exists. They are sick in their heads. There's some background to Plato here on your screen. Okay, you can read them for yourself. I don't have a special student at City Campus. I'm sure you can see this for yourself. Socrates, the master, think of Socrates at least symbolically as Jesus. Then Plato as his student, you can think of, say, Paul or Peter, maybe. Then Aristotle is Plato's own student. So maybe Luke is a student of Paul, and Paul is a student, something like in that order, okay? So that you can frame your thoughts well when you are thinking around this. This is the cave picture I was asking you if you could see earlier when your friend was commenting on the picture. See the people chained sitting down. The boss who was standing in front of them like that. So he is not chained, but he's still in the cave. And all the reality he knows is the fireplace, the sun, excuse me, the light that comes from this fire. So as soon as the fire dies out, there's no reality. Everything here is not really what is there. Then one of them comes out this way and goes out, okay? That's a pictorial view of what I was saying earlier. Now, Plato uses the allegory of the cave to show what? I've said all this just so you are sure we are covered. The relationship between what appears to be and what is really there. Things are not always what they seem, friends, remember. Okay? So the relationship between what you believe to be true and what is actually true. Belief is not knowledge. And then what your responsibilities are as a philosopher. See all these various balls, they are all balls, aren't they? One is a football, one is a tennis ball, one is a this ball. My friend, we're discussing justice, we're discussing the good. These are all particular instances, photocopies of what? Ballness, what it means to be a ball. So the reality is not any of them. The reality is what? The idea of what? Ball, which you see in this. You don't call this a phone. You don't call any of this a phone or a table. Look at how diverse they are. They are different and yet essentially, remember the word essence. Essentially, they are all balls. Why? Because Plato will say they participate in the essence of what? The form called what? Ball. That is how come you are able to identify all of them and call them ball. Okay, so I've just repeated that. See essence, see form, capital F, see idea. I said all that. Again, see here. So this world of reality is what you describe as what? The world of being. What the thing is to be. I am that I am. It is. Okay. The real world is full of beings, things that are ever present. They don't change. The world of becoming, everything is becoming something. So the posh lady is only becoming an old lady. And the old lady is only becoming a corpse. And the corpse is only becoming maggots. And the maggots will only become sand. And the sand will, you see, everything is becoming something, it's changing. It's never static. That's the world of appearance, where things are sensed. Things that you can sense, see, touch, taste, smell are all becoming something. They are not existing by themselves. They are not real. I've said the theory of ideas. I showed you what the thing is. It is the essence, it is the nature, it is its essential nature, it is the object of definition. What are we referencing? Plato's theory of forms, okay? It's eternal, see, all this ever present, okay? I said all, so I'm just walking you through and see some features of what he calls the forms, reality. The world of reality is a world of form. Some of the features, they have self-predication. It just is. It's not something. You don't say it is something. Okay. If I say the table is red, this thing is a table, the table is red, I'm predicating, I'm adding something to make the table what it is. The forms are just what they are. That's why they are simple. I don't want to use God too much. Okay. I'm a church person, so the chances of, bringing church or religion into some of these discussions are high. I'm trying to be a bit more regulated. But you see, self-predict, I am that I am. Miara. You can't say I'm this or that. You don't need anything to qualify the form. The form is itself. finito, okay? It's independent from particulars. So tableness is not the table. The table is an example of tableness. Perfect. The forms are perfect, simple, unchangeable. I've said all this. They are intelligible. Use the intellect to get them. They are incorporeal. They are not material. And they cause the material, okay? Okay, let's go. Look at the particulars, the opposite of that. Imperfect, copied. They are complex. Complex means they are a combination of several, not one, okay? But forms are simple. See all these? You should know them, fingertips. You can only grasp the form by what? The mind. Mind is the non-physical. I tell you now, so you know, like soul, like spirit. Look at the words there. You use reasoning to apprehend the forms. You don't see it with your eye. Whatever you see is not real with your physical eye, says Plato. The forms are more real than the copies of them. Okay, think of the photocopy you want me to give you if I were to do that. Then the ultimate reality is the good. It is the good, like the sunlight outside of the cave, is that which throws light on everything, even the reality outside of the cave. Depends for its essence on what? The sun. So the ultimate reality, the final absolute reality is the good. Everything is trying to be good. Justice, the form of justice is trying to be good. The form of goodness is beauty is trying to be good. The form of right is trying to be good. Tableness is trying to be good, etc. Think of God as the ultimate reality. So pretending over all spirituality, and the spiritual is affecting what? The physical. Now that sounds like church. There is nothing in the physical that didn't come from the spiritual. The real things are non-physical. The ultimate of all is what? God, if you are speaking spiritual language. Now, if you speak Plato, the ultimate of all realities, all forms, all essences, the ultimate is what? The good. You can read what is down here to edify yourself. Then we come here, the cave again. Now here is the bosu that your friend was referring to. And here is a philosophical man who is fed up with the bosu's insistence on supposed truths that he asks questions and thinks, no, there's something wrong. I need to go deeper, reflect deeper. It's going to climb out. 17, it is the duty of the philosopher to go back and save the others. And finally, you must be ready, regardless, to enlighten the unenlightened and bear their brand. Treat them like you would treat a baby who thinks they won't eat the food because they want to punish you, the mother. But if they don't eat, they will go hungry. So a mother has the heart to endure. Once in a while, you give a little tap, stop it. But you can understand why they are behaving so. You won't eat the food, he thinks he's doing you. I won't go to school, Mom. If you don't go to school, me. If you don't go to school, who will be the bonbon? It's you. But a mother has the heart to do what? To endure that. We have ended. Any questions, friends? If there are no questions, I have enabled your microphones again. Any questions? I suppose
hello,
not.
Hello, Doc.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
Doc.
Go ahead.
Please, I have a question.
What is it, please?
Please concerning the assignments.
What
The
have they
assignment
done?
virtually. If you are typing on Sakai, and it's time, will it submit by itself or?
Rather, let me stop the recording now.